Yo, what's up, guys? We're back for another breakdown and predictions video. This week we got International Fight Week. We got UFC 317, Charles Oliveira versus Ilia Topuria in the main event. There's not much more you could ask for. It's going to be a great show. I'm actually going to the fight card, so it's always a little bit more on it. You get a little bit more excited when you're going to be there in person. And just in general, I like this card from a betting perspective. I feel like there's some good money to be had on this card. And I already got bets over there at patreon.com/MPredictionGuru for this card and for the PFL card. And there's going to be some other events going on that I'm going to be looking into today, potentially putting some bets on. So go to Patreon, check that out, make yourself some money, and support the channel, be a part of the community. I would really appreciate everyone that goes over there. And second off, I just want to say real quick, my bad for putting this video out so late. I've actually been working with somebody who they asked me to put these videos out a little later in the week, but I had a conversation with them and I kind of came to agreement where I'm going to start putting these videos out earlier in the week again. So for the future, you're going to start seeing these videos out earlier once again. But yeah, man, I'm sorry for this video being out on a Friday, but hopefully you guys still watch it and still learn something from it. Hit the like button on this video, put a comment down below, and let's get into it, man. First fight of the night was supposed to be Jackson McVeigh versus Chris Ewart, but yeah, I don't know what Chris Ewart was thinking, man. The guy had a Contender Series fight already scheduled in August, so I feel like he should have just kept that fight, man. I mean, why would you show up 10 pounds overweight, blow weight, tell the UFC you can make it, and then just scrap the fight? I mean, you just got yourself cut from the UFC. You're not going to get your Contender Series chance, and I don't know what he was thinking. Like, did he really think he was going to be able to cut all that weight? He was 10 pounds over, so I don't know. Bad mistake there from Chris Ewart, but that fight did get scrapped. So now the first fight on the night, or on the card, excuse me, is Jhonata Diniz taking on Alvin Hines. And don't got a ton to say about this fight. Alvin Hines hasn't really fought great competition. He's fought in LFA, and he's a tough guy. He pressures. He has good cardio for a heavyweight. Seems like he has decent boxing, and then he'll try to bring it to the ground, but his wrestling isn't anything special. He's more of a cardio guy, to be honest with you. And Jhonata Diniz, last fight he took that stock drop, but he was fighting Marcin Tybura, someone that's a perennial top guy in the world with a wealth of experience, and he was able to go out there and just out-wrestle Jhonata. With this fight, I feel like Diniz should be able to keep it standing and find the knockout. I mean, Hayes is just so hittable as he comes forward. And Diniz, we've seen him beat wrestlers in the past, so it's not like he's never done it before. It's just if Alvin Hayes could take him down one time, Alvin Hines, excuse me, is that going to change the dynamic of the fight? It could, but I just think that Diniz is too good for Hines at this point. I think Hines is inexperienced and he's not really a great fighter. At heavyweight, you can get away with being an all-rounder type of guy, but I just don't think that this matchup in particular is the greatest matchup for him. So give me Jhonata Diniz. I'll say that he wins via first-round knockout in this one, but Hines is tough, so if he could survive, I wouldn't be shocked, but I just think that Diniz is probably going to get him out of there. But talking about someone that has to survive, Niko Price versus Jacobe Smith. Jacobe Smith, I mean, gigantic favorite, man. I feel like he's one of the biggest favorites in UFC history, and he's a specimen. I mean, he's an Oklahoma State wrestler. All those guys, when you see him wrestle at Oklahoma State, they come into MMA and they're just absolute beasts. So that wrestling program is just really good at building tough guys that can translate their grappling into MMA, and for Jacobe Smith, it's no different. I mean, the guy on the feet has concussive knockout power. He's still stiff standing. He doesn't really look like a great striker, but he has the threat of the wrestling, and he hits like a Mack truck. So guys are very hesitant to want to exchange with him. They don't want to get close to get grabbed, and yeah, it just nullifies a lot of striking offense from opponents. Niko Price, I mean, this guy has if they just brawl in the pocket, Jacoby's going to knock him out, you'd think. I mean, but that's his only chance. I don't see how he has any other chance. He's not going to win a pretty range striking fight with technical ability. He's not going to stop the takedowns. And the more times that he gets put on his back, he's eventually probably going to get finished with ground and pound. We've seen him not really do the best with ground and pounders, Niko Price. He did go all 3 rounds versus Themba Gorimbo, but I think there's a different kind of danger when Themba Gorimbo's on top of you and when Jacobe Smith is on top of you. So, I mean, there's a reason why he's a gigantic favorite. The only way that Jacobe loses this fight is he slips on a banana peel and gets caught by the power of Niko Price. And that's something that I do think people are maybe undervaluing a little bit. Niko has shown that he has that one-hitter-quitter ability, so I wouldn't count him out 100%, but man, the guy's looked slow as molasses lately. He's on the decline, and he's being set up with one of the best young prospects in the division. So we all kind of know how that fight's probably going to go, and I'll say Jacobe Smith wins via first-round finish. And continuing along through the card, talking about a first-round finisher, Terrance McKinney, he's back. He's taking on Slava Borschev in this fight. In every McKinney fight, I feel like you could break it down the exact same way. I mean, he has such binary fights. If he goes out there, he uses his athleticism and explosiveness to pressure you, work the jab, land some big straight punches or overhands down the pipe and put you out. Hey, he's going to get his first round finish. If he could take you down, he could jump on your back and strangle you right away. He could put you out that way too, but when fights get extended and he can't use that athleticism to just win him the fight, he falls off a cliff. He falls apart, and guys could finish him. So Terrance has just been a first-round or bust guy throughout his whole career. Slava Borschev never been finished in the first round, which is a good feather in his cap when you're looking at this matchup. But he's been dropped so many times. He definitely is a chinny guy, and his grappling is not the greatest. So if McKinney can take him down, you'd think that McKinney could dominate from the top position. So I just don't know what to think about this fight. To me, it's a pass. It's a crapshoot type of fight. I get the people going with Slava round 2s and things like that, because I do think if he could survive early, it's his fight to lose. And with a fight line this close, maybe there is an edge there when you could say that. But I think that McKinney could take him down and sub him in the first round. I think McKinney can knock him out in the first round. And Slava, even though the guy is a great striker, he's not the most powerful guy. He doesn't have big knockout power. Obviously, he can't grapple. So he's going to have to rely on McKinney just flaking out to finish him. But that's a high likelihood if the fight goes any longer than 6-7 minutes. So yeah, it's just a total crapshoot for me. This is one I don't really have a great read on. I would be curious to see who you guys look like in this fight. Put it in the comments if you have a confident side here. But I'm just going to predict Terrance McKinney first round finish here. But next fight, Vivi Araujo taking on Tracy Cortez. This is a good one. I think this line makes no sense, though. I mean, I get Vivi's 38, and I think that's why she's over 2-1 favorite, but she's coming off that win over Karine Silva where she was the underdog in that fight. I bet her in that one, and we got the job done there. And Vivi Araujo is one of the more underrated girls, I feel like, in the weight class, and she's taking on one of the most popular female fighters in MMA, and Tracy Cortez. Cortez was undefeated in the UFC, was undefeated at flyweight, I believe, as well, but she took that loss to Rose Namajunas in her last fight, and now she's looking to bounce back. The Rose fight, it was short notice. She was going to fight a completely different style of opponent with Miranda Maverick, so maybe it threw her off a little bit, but she just pretty much got dominated for 5 rounds. It was her first chance to be in a main event in a big-time spot like that, and she kind of dropped the ball, so she has to get back on track here against Vivi Araujo, and she's almost a 3-1 favorite, which to me is very surprising to see that. But Tracy Cortez, her hands are better than people give them credit for. Her boxing, I feel like she does that power, but she has fast hands. She'll throw 1-2. She'll throw good jabs. She was able to kind of box up Jasmine Jasudavicius when they fought each other. And obviously, her double leg and her wrestling against the fence and just controlling you on top is her MO and what she wants to do. She wants to take you down, hold you down. She's not necessarily a big finisher on the map, but she can win minutes and take the fight that way. And her cardio is good. So she's also pretty tough too. I mean, it's kind of it can seem like you'd think maybe she's a quitter or something, but she really can battle through adversity pretty well. And in this fight, though, I just feel like on their feet, I don't know how she's gonna gas out Araujo in order to eventually take her down, because I don't think she has the firepower or the speed. She might have the speed with her hands, but Vivi, very good in and out. She's going to be throwing the heavier shots. I feel like she's the better striker. I think that she's going to be able to land early and often, back Tracy up. And her takedown defense is really good. I feel like she has underrated grappling, Viviane Araujo. So I think Vivi could keep this standing, and I just don't know how Tracy's going to react mentally to this being a hard fight, maybe after 5 minutes after she just took a loss. Maybe she's going to have some of those memories creep back into her system and freeze up, or who knows. But I just feel like this line should be much closer to a pick-up than where it is currently, because unless Vivi Araujo gasses and Tracy just out-wrestles her easily, I think it's going to be a very competitive, close fight. So when I say that, and I got someone at odds of over 2-1, I got to go with the underdog. So Vivi Araujo is going to be my prediction against Tracy Cortez. I'll pick her to win via decision. And next fight on the card, we got an awesome fight, man. Hyder Amil versus Jose Delgado. And yeah, man, Hyder Amil came into the UFC, got that sick finish over Ji-Young Lee, where he threw like 150 punch combination, took him out of there, and then came in with some injuries against William Gomes, who was streaking, who was on a roll, and he got the job done over William as well. So Hyder is looking at top 15 aspirations, and the first person that he has to get out of the way to get there is Jose Delgado, who's also came into the UFC really impressively. He had a knockout win with a knee over Connor Matthews. Previous to that, he got a finish on Contender Series with the knee as well. So he's a very long, lanky, dangerous guy that's been taking people out lately. And something's got to give, because both these fighters have been doing really well and winning all their fights recently. So someone's going to be disappointed. But you look at this fight from a stylistic matchup, I think it's a great matchup skills-wise. You got Delgado. He's tall, long, lanky. He likes to move around on the outside and kind of point fight you. He could switch stance. He's fast. But then he'll blitz in with really nice combinations. He mixes in knees. He's good at going to the body to open up the head. His hooks are on point. And on top of that, he has good intercepting strikes as well. So if you try to shoot an ugly takedown on him, you don't set it up, he could time a knee, knock you out, time an uppercut. He has good ability to control distance, and he'll just explode in. But the thing is with him, I feel like he hasn't fought a super great pressure fighter with cardio and conditioning, and that's going to be Hyder Amil. Hyder Amil is going to be in his face. He's going to have an iron chin. He's going to be extremely durable, hard to stop. He's going to be throwing big looping punches over the top, big hooks, and he's going to be trying to back up Delgado where Delgado can't pull back to defend strikes and then hit him on the chin, because Delgado does lean back a lot. Sometimes he can admire his work and kind of stick in the pocket and get clipped, and I've seen him get dropped. I feel like Hyder, aggressive coming forward, throwing punches, could find the chin of Delgado, and I think Hyder can mix in takedowns as well. I know Delgado likes to wrestle too, but I think Hyder will be able to shut down his clinch takedowns, be the stronger clinch fighter, and I think that he could potentially mix in takedowns on Delgado too, especially if Delgado starts to wear down. One thing about Delgado is we haven't seen him in a lot of long fights recently. He's been finishing in the first round. His one loss against Chris Bacatti, he did get tired. He did get wrestled, so that was obviously not a good look for him in that matchup. But Chris Bacatti is an elite level wrestler. But just, I think that Hyder Amil should be either at a pick-up price or the slight favorite here. So Hyder Amil is the pick for me. I just think he has proven more in terms of he has the durability, I think, to survive that early swarm from Delgado. And after that, I think he could land the bigger punches. He could be pressured forward. He could be the more aggressive guy and maybe mix in some takedowns or some clinch control time as well. And I think Delgado is going to get a little tired. So Hyder Amil for me is going to be the prediction. I think he's going to pull the upset there in that fight. Next fight we got on the card, we got the main event of the prelims with Jack Hermansson taking on Gregory Rodrigues, two top 15 middleweights, two guys that have been in main events and have been at the top of this weight class for a while now. Hermansson, he's been in the UFC, I think, almost for a decade, and he has gotten some huge wins. He's been able to stay relevant through multiple generations of middleweight, like he beat the Jacares, and I believe he got another couple wins over that era of fighters. He beat Talis Latis, I believe, and things like that. And then you look at more recently, he's beaten Joe Pyfer. So he's been able to stay on top of the game for a long time. And his style, pretty basic style, where he likes to move around on the outside a lot, throw a lot of kicks, throw a lot of touching strikes. He doesn't really have great power. His last fight, his jab looked better, but usually he doesn't really show good hands, and I don't know how comfortable he is going to be throwing punches in this fight. But he has good kicks, good movement, tries to get you to chase him, and then he'll grab you or level change, try to put you on your back. And if you can't close that distance and he's able to just stay at range, moving and kicking and touching you with little shots, peppering you, he has no issues doing that, and he'll do it for all 15 minutes. So he's tricky. If you can't close the distance on him, he's just going to point you all night. And if you do close the distance on him, but you can't stop his wrestling, he's going to take you down. But if you have the ability to pressure through his striking, cut the cage off, you're going to be able to get him in the pocket where he just doesn't have a lot of power and isn't that comfortable, doesn't have the best defense, and you could start to land on him. And Gregory Rodrigues is right at home in the pocket. Gregory is a guy that wants to have that wide, narrow stance. He is very bladed, so he can bounce in and out, and he's looking to explode in with counter 3-2s, counter 2-3s, and when he's getting you up against the fence, he's flurrying on you with multi-strike combinations. He's getting into the clinch. He's dirty boxing you, and he hits like a Mack truck. So this guy, when he can let go and start to connect with his punches, a lot of the times he can get guys out of there. And on top of that, I feel like he's going to be able to shut down the wrestling game of Hermansson and be able to take down Hermansson if he wants to. Hermansson hasn't historically had elite takedown defense. It's been quality, but he's been taken down by better wrestlers and controlled. And I don't see why Gregory, if he wanted to do that, couldn't do that. I don't know if he will. I think that he'll be just fine pressuring and forcing exchanges and getting the better of him there and maybe even getting a knockout. But if he is struggling a little bit with the distance, he could get the takedown if he really wanted to. And I just don't see a lot of avenues for Hermansson here. If it was 5 rounds, maybe he'd have a chance to gas him and beat him like he did Joe Pyfer. But even if that Joe Pyfer fight was a 3-round fight, Hermansson would have lost 29-28. He's a little older. He's coming off a layoff. Rodrigues is coming off a recent knockout loss to Cannonier, which that does make you maybe think about it, question him a little bit. But I think that he almost got the finish early in that fight. He gassed himself, and he did take a lot of damage. But I just don't see Hermansson being the guy that's going to knock him out or exploit that. And I just think Gregory is going to be too aggressive. He's going to be pressuring. He's going to have the superior firepower. And he's going to be able to probably dictate where the fight takes place as well. So Gregory Rodrigues, I think, is one of the safer picks on the card. And I think he gets the job done there over Jack Hermansson. But continuing it along, we got the main card now. Kicking off the main card, we got Payton Talbott and Felipe Lima. And this is pretty crazy, man. I don't know if I've ever seen a guy in Payton Talbott where it's not like he's going from fighting a bum off the street to fighting someone in the top 5 or something like that. That's not what it is. He's going from fighting Raoni Barcelos, someone that's ranked, someone that's, I mean, you'd think higher thought of than Felipe Lima, maybe not, where he was minus 1,100 favorite over Raoni Barcelos. I mean, that's insanity. And then you look at Barcelos, recently beating Cody Garbrandt and being on this win streak. He was a minus 1,100 favorite over Hyoni. And now he's the underdog in this fight. Plus 150 against a guy that's not even ranked in Felipe Lima. And I'm not saying it's like the other. I think the Hyoni line obviously was completely unjustified and then he lost the fight. So that was just an incorrect line and overvaluation of Talbott's skill set. But still, I mean, think of that difference. You're like, that's insane. I mean, they completely jumped off the Payton Talbott train and, are running in the other direction. So that's pretty crazy. But Felipe Lima, he's looked good in the UFC. I mean, the guy went in against Muhammad Naimov, and I do think he was probably on his way to losing that fight. It looked like he had gotten tired in the second round. It was short notice, but he got super aggressive at the start of the third, was able to jump on the back and hit the choke. So he got Naimov out of there, and then he came back, got another win in his last fight over Miles Johns in a pretty dominant decision win there, where he did get dropped at one point, but it was kind of like a super quick flash knockdown, and then outside of that, he dominated by just controlling the distance. And but yeah, man, I think matchup-wise, this is a great matchup. Both these guys are young. They're really good stand-up fighters, well-rounded. I know Talbot, he got taken down, got his back taken and controlled for a lot of his last fight versus Barcelos, and people think that he just has no grappling, no wrestling anymore, but the guy's wrestling and grappling and scrambling ability is good. It's just, I don't know what was up his last fight. It seemed like he was too content to accept the takedown to scramble back up, and I think he felt like, okay, eventually this guy's going to gas, I'm going to get him out of there, but when he never did, he just lost the fight. So it was just inexperienced, bad game planning, in my opinion, from Talbot, and I don't think he's going to let that happen again. I mean, if he goes out here and Felipe Lima just times takedowns and takes his back and holds him down or submits him, I mean, Talbot's career is going to be in a big danger zone at that point. And what has he been training on during this layoff after his last fight? I mean, he should have been in the gym every day working on his takedown defense, working on getting back up to his feet because he has the ability. It's just he has to go out there and implement it in the cage. But even on the feet in this fight, Talbot's going to have stuff to deal with because Felipe Lima is primarily a striker. And you look at Felipe Lima, kind of a runner, but he is dangerous because he has the flying knees. His hands, I don't think he has a lot of power in his hands, but he's very fast. He'll throw nice 1-2s. He'll throw check hooks. He's bouncing in and out all the time. He's trying to get you to run into his punches and just kind of frustrate you with his speed, and he's not going to stay in the pocket. He's going to move around on you, and then when you start to overextend or get wild, he'll take you down, he'll take your back, tight grappling. He doesn't really have great submission, like a submission game historically, though. That submission win over Muhammad Naimov was his only submission in like the last 6 years. But he was able to get the back against Miles Johns too. So it seems like getting the back is something that he's good at, and Talbot had issues with that in his last fight. So that's what Felipe Lima is probably going to be coming in here with the game plan to do. But he's a small guy, man. I feel like Talbot is a good bit bigger than him. And on the feet, I just favor Payton Talbot. I know we just talked about Felipe Lima's striking style. He's more of a point fighter where he's looking to stay light on his feet, cut angles, bounce around you, get you frustrated, hit you with jabs, 1-2s, check hooks. And then if you get stagnant or get wild, he'll pull you into a flying knee or something crazy. But he's not really looking to knock you out. Most of his wins are decisions. I think he has 3 knockout wins. But Payton Talbot, this guy's just a Terminator. I think he's going to be walking forward. He has super long arms. He's willing to take a shot to give a shot. So if Lima lands on him, Talbot's willing to just stick in the pocket, absorb it, and come back right away. And he has really long arms. He'll throw kicks. He'll throw knees. His body attack is incredible. And his volume is just out of this world elite. So I think Talbot is getting shit on a little bit unnecessarily here. And I don't know why people are viewing Lima as like such a elite wrestler or something like that. I don't know if he's necessarily going to really push a hard wrestling um, pace here. I think he's going to be looking to time the takedowns like he usually does. And he's nowhere near the level of Barcelos. So I just think this is a good matchup for Talbott to remind everyone this guy was one of the biggest prospects in MMA history. I mean, so if he can go out here on the feet, if he could pressure, if he could force exchanges with Lima, I think he's going to have this pure firepower, and I think we're going to see Lima slow down a little bit and Talbott pick it up like he does on everyone. And I don't think Lima's just going to be able to take him down and hold him down. I mean, if he does, I think that's a very bad look for Talbott. Maybe his career will never materialize. But I'm going to go with Talbott here to bounce back and get the win. I just think that it's a buy low spot for Talbott here, and I think he gets the job done, honestly. And next fight we got on the card, we got a fight that was supposed to go down a while back with Beneil Dariush and Renato Moicano. Obviously, the night that they were supposed to fight, Islam Makhachev's opponent, Sarukian, pulled out. Renato stepped up. He took the Islam fight. We all saw that went down. He kind of got absolutely dominated, and then now he's back in the drawing board. I mean, he had his win streak snapped, but it didn't do anything to his stock because he literally went from, he got paid to fight Islam. He probably got a nice, 6-7 figure payday there. And then he lost the fight, but he's fighting the exact same guy that he was scheduled to fight when he was on his win streak. So the UFC kind of honored that and gave him Beneil still. And Beneil's kind of in no man's land in this division a little bit. I mean, the guy's one of the best lightweights ever. I'm saying that. I know that probably not many people will ever give him that type of flowers. But think about it, man. I mean, this guy was knocking people out in the UFC in 2014. It's 2025, and I get that maybe he has been active, and it's hard to say he's at the upper echelon of the division still. But just a couple of years ago, the guy was on an 8-fight win streak. He was fighting Charles Oliveira in a number 1 contenders fight, and he was the favorite. So Beneil, the guy's super underrated. He's someone that has been there, done it all, seen it all, but we've seen him get knocked out multiple times at this point. His chin is definitely a question, and he's getting up there in age. And just in terms of mileage, like I said, he's been in the UFC for over a decade, so that starts to add up. Moicano's also, though, I believe they're only like 15 days apart, and Moicano's been in the UFC for a long time as well. He's also gotten knocked out himself, so both these guys have their flaws, and it's a good matchup in that sense. But stylistically, I wish the line was like it was the first fight. Like, where are you freaking Moicano bettors this time, man? Why didn't you guys have Moicano at like minus 200 like you did in the first fight? Because I was all over Benny at that value price. I feel like at a pick'em, I still favor Benny, and I think that he's going to get the job done, but I don't like the bet as much anymore. But just because you look at this fight on the feet, I think Beneil is the better striker. He's southpaw. We've seen Renato have some issues with southpaw strikers. He has power. He's going to be the more powerful hitter. I think he's more aggressive on the feet, and he has better wrestling and grappling as well than Renato. Renato, if he could connect clean on him, or use his sharpness and his speed standing early on in the fight, I mean, maybe he could catch him or something. But when have we seen Renato knock someone out or really rock them in the feet? It doesn't really happen. And Renato's not going to take down and dominate Beneil Dariush on the mat. I mean, I don't think he could take him down. And if he does, Beneil's going to be getting back up. And I think Beneil could take down Renato and dominate him on the ground. So I just think this is a good matchup for Beneil. But with the layoff, with I believe his last fight was the Hermansson fight that he got knocked out really quickly in. Hey, maybe he's completely washed, but prime Benny wins this fight 9 times out of 10, and I think even a washed-up Benny can win this fight the majority of the time. So I just like this matchup. I think Renato's a little overrated, and give me Beneil Dariush in that fight. But moving it along, we got Brandon Royval taking on Josh Van. This is the appetizer to the co-main event, which is the flyweight title fight between Pantoja and Kai Kara France. We got Brandon Royval, who's been in there with both guys in the main event. He fought Pantoja twice. He's 0-2 against Pantoja. He fought Kai Kara France. He was able to get him out of there with a submission. So Royval is someone that's coming off a win as well over Tatsuro Taira, who's a young prospect. So he's seen it all. He's seen the upper echelon, the established guys in the weight class, the champions, and then more recently he had a fight with a young up-and-comer and he got the victory. So Royval, really impressive guy. But Josh Van, I mean, this guy has quickly made himself one of the biggest fan favorites in the UFC. He's been so active. He's been fighting, seems like every other month since he got signed. And he wins almost every time. And every fight that he's in is a banger. I mean, Charles Johnson knocked him out. But outside of that, Van's been out there just beating the brakes off everyone he gets in there with, whether he finishes them or not. And this is his chance to break into that upper echelon. And, man, I mean, Van's a super young guy. If he wins this fight versus Brandon Royval, he's probably going to be getting a title shot and maybe a chance to break John Jones's record. I believe that he is young enough to do it. But, man, I mean, this is a huge step up for Josh Van. And who knows, I think that this line being a pick'em is the perfect price because I do believe that Royval has some issues with boxers. And Josh Van is one of the best boxers in the sport. And Van's going to be keeping that pressure. He's going to be looking to stay in Royval's face, box him up, go body, go head. He's more powerful. He's crisper. He's probably faster, sharper with the hands. But where Brandon Royval has the huge advantage is the guy's a freaking gigantic flyweight. He's going to be towering over Josh Van. And Josh Van, you know, he likes to dip. He likes to duck. He likes to slip left to right. He has a lot of boxing defensive tendencies. And Royval's going to be coming with those knees. He's going to be coming with the head kicks. He's going to be coming with the front kicks up the middle. He's going to be throwing so much volume and just kicks in general. And we haven't really seen Van face a super heavy kicker recently to know exactly how he's going to deal with that. And Royval, against strikers, he's always historically done really good. He's been very durable. He's been able to absorb damage and then eventually find his own shots. And usually when he lands on these flyweights, they can't take it, man. He can get him out of there. He's hurt a lot of really high-level strikers. I don't know if Royval could take him down. I highly doubt it. He does have probably a major advantage in the grappling realm, but Josh Van has proven that he's super hard to take down. He's not going to engage in the grappling. I mean, the fight with Tyro was funny. I mean, the guy was freaking running away from the takedown when Tyro was trying to pull guard like every time. Like he wanted nothing to do with the ground. But, yeah, I honestly think this is like a 50-50 fight. But the reason why I'm leaning towards Josh Van is just activity. And I like his style, man. I like that style of fighter more of a boxing fan. I like his pressure. And with Brandon Royval, I mean, I believe he didn't fight for a while this year. He pulled out a fight because he got a concussion in training. And who knows? I mean, he's not that old. It's just, I kind of want to pick Royval, but I'm pussying out, man. So I'm going to pick Josh Van. I know the majority of people are on Josh Van this week, and I'm going to go with the consensus because I just don't have a great read here. So I would be curious to see what you guys think about this fight. But for me, I'm going to pick Josh Van to win via decision in that one. And, yeah, man, announced himself as one of the best flyweights in the world. But co-main event time, talking about the best flyweight in the world, Alexandre Pantoja, maybe the best flyweight of all time. I know Demetrius Johnson has a lot to say about that, but the more and more wins that Pantoja racks up, if he can go up and beat Murad Dvalishvili, which, I mean, that would be an amazing win for Pantoja, the closer he gets to a guy like DJ. But I believe this is his 5th title defense. I think Demetrius Johnson had 11, so that just shows the dominance that he had. But 5 title defenses in this era is really, really impressive. And just Pantoja's beaten everyone, man. He's beaten all these guys so many times that he's rematching him for the title. It's like, man, they had to get a guy, Kaya Sakura, from another promotion to come in there and fight him because he had beaten everybody, and then he just runs through Kaya Sakura, so they have to go back and give him another rematch with Kai Kara France, where they did fight. The fight isn't official, so I guess that's something that UFC could use, because it's not like a real fight on their record. It was a tough Ultimate Fighter exhibition bout, and Pantoja won 2018. In Ultimate Fighter, obviously, if you win the first 2 rounds, the fight's over. So it only went 2 rounds. Pantoja won both rounds and won the fight. But now, obviously, almost a decade later, Kai Kara has really leveled up his takedown defense. He's gotten way better with his ability to defend submissions as well and just scramble and get back up to his feet. So it's a lot more of a tough fight for Pantoja, but everyone knows Pantoja's style. On the feet, the guy has one of the best chins in the sport, pound for pound, and he's just willing to push such an insane pace, force crazy brawls, and be wild on the feet because he believes in his chin so much, and he's gotten better at setting his striking up with his level changes and his wrestling. And when he gets you tired, then he can start to really land decent combinations on the feet. But you look at Pantoja's standing, I mean, he looks really sloppy at times and looks really tired as well. But he just powers through. He's good at that. And no one's been able to knock him out, man. And I just don't think Kai Kara's going to be able to catch him and KO him. You look at Kai Kara's takedown defense, it's been really good. But he hasn't been fighting a guy like Pantoja. And I think that Pantoja could just do what he does, man, and win a decision. So I don't really have like a super technical breakdown here on this fight, but I just think Pantoja is going to be the bully on the feet. He's going to use his wild striking and his chin to get into positions where he could grapple. And I think that even though Kai Kara has made some improvements, I don't think it's going to be enough to stop Pantoja's grappling game over 25 minutes. I think Pantoja's going to start to grind on him, wear him down, and take over the fight. And I could see another finish for Pantoja in the later rounds, but ultimately I'm going to say he wins a decision in this fight and remains the champion. So give me Alexandre Pantoja and still in that matchup. And then finally we got the main event. We got Ilia Topuria versus Charles do Bronx. We got the former featherweight champ against the former lightweight champion. Obviously, Ilia Topuria, undefeated. He never lost his belt in the cage. He relinquished it to move up and get this opportunity. And for the longest time, we were thinking it was going to be him versus Islam Makhachev, which would have been the number one pound-for-pound fighter in the sport against the number one rising star in the sport in Ilia Topuria. But Islam bowed out. He gave up the belt. He moved up to 170. And now we got the former champion, the guy that everyone was talking about potentially being the next lightweight GOAT before he lost to Islam, in Charles do Bronx Oliveira. And Oliveira, obviously he's a little older. He took the loss as well to Islam, to Arman Tsarukyan as well. So he's taken a couple losses at this point against the upper echelon of division. But he's coming off that win over Michael Chandler. And in that fight, he showed off his wrestling. He showed off better fight IQ and looked pretty dominant. So that was impressive from him, even though in round 5 he was getting hit with the 15 illegal shots to the back of the head. But he looked good in that fight. And obviously with Ilia, what are you going to say about his recent performances? I mean, the guy went out there and knocked out Volkanovski, knocked out Max Holloway. Not much negative you could say about the guy. But man, I mean, Ilia's a big favorite. I think that value-wise, there's not really much value on Topuria at that price, but I'm not going to pick Charles. I just think that this is Ilia's time, and just matchup-wise, it's a great matchup for Ilia. Charles has a chance just because he's going to be the bigger guy. We saw when Ilia fought Jai Herbert, he did get clipped with the head kick, and even on the regional scene, I've seen him dropped with the head kick. So knees, head kicks for Oliveira. He's going to be having to look for those type of shots. And obviously, Charles has big power, and he's a bigger guy. So we'll see if Ilia can translate his stopping power to 55s, which I don't think is a question. I mean, when he fought Jay Herbert, that was at 55, and he folded him like a lawn chair. And Charles Oliveira, even though the guy's extremely good at recovering, this fight's similar to the Islam fight, man, where if he gets dropped with hooks, Ilia's not afraid to go in his guard and get on top of him. He's going to get on top of him and just pound his face in or just control him on the ground. So Charles doesn't have ways to rest in this fight or to recover like that, which is a major factor. And he just is so bad at getting away from hooks early, man. I mean, we've seen guys drop him with hooks in multiple fights, and Ilia's go-to is just trying to land that left hook. So I just feel like matchup-wise, it's a great matchup for Ilia to come in here and get another knockout with a big hook over the top. Charles is obviously live to get the finish on anyone in the world, but I just think Ilia has a beat in every category. He's younger. He's fresher. He probably has more confidence currently. And, yeah, I think Charles has a chance, obviously. But I think Ilia is going to knock him out, personally. So give me Ilia Topuria via knockout. That would be a crazy knockout streak at the end of the day. So shout out to Ilia Topuria for everything that he's been doing in the sport. Just been absolutely crushing guys with ease. But so there you have it, guys. Thanks for watching this full card breakdown and predictions video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you learned something. Going to be breaking down another fight card soon. Like I said, I'm going to be putting out these videos earlier from now on, hopefully. Yeah, man, as far as the most confident pick, the part of the week, for the most confident pick, I mean, Jacobe Smith is going to win, but insane favorite. I'll say my most confident pick of someone that has, bettable odds, Gregory Rodrigues would be that. And for the parlay of the week, I'll do a parlay of the week of Gregory Rodrigues and Alexandre Pantoja. So there you have it, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll be back soon breaking down another fight card. Peace out.